Does your shadow ever seem a little off? A little too independent, perhaps? Welcome, dear listener, to a world where shadows aren't mere reflections of light, but entities with a will of their own. A world where the benign silhouette you ignore might harbor an intelligence beyond human comprehension. In the early 20th century, a group of scientists, philosophers, and scholars began to notice peculiarities in the way shadows behave. They observed instances where shadows appeared to move independently of their objects, demonstrating an eerie semblance of free will. This group, known as the Shadow Observers, dedicated their lives to studying this phenomenon, documenting thousands of such instances. The observers developed an astonishing hypothesis. Shadows are not simply the absence of light, but an intelligent force, a parallel civilization living right beside us, unseen, unnoticed. They believed that these sentient shadows could influence our thoughts, our actions, even our fate. But why would these shadows manipulate us? The observers proposed a chilling answer. They suggested that these shadows feed off our emotions, our fears, our joys, our sorrows. Like ethereal parasites, they influence our lives to generate the emotional energy they need to exist. Before you dismiss this as mere speculation, consider the evidence. How many times have you felt an inexplicable change in mood, a sudden surge of anger, a wave of sadness, a burst of joy? Could it be that these emotions were not your own, but carefully orchestrated by your shadow? Remember the last time you were alone in a dimly lit room and you felt an inexplicable chill, a sense of being watched? Could it be your shadow, your constant companion, silently observing, influencing, feeding? And what about those times when you swear you saw your shadow move out of the corner of your eye, but when you turned to look, it was just as it should be? Perhaps it wasn't your imagination. Perhaps it was your shadow, momentarily forgetting its role, revealing its true nature. The observers' work was discredited and dismissed by mainstream science, but their research, their observations, their warnings live on. The idea of sentient shadows might seem far-fetched, even impossible, but in a universe as vast and mysterious as ours, can we afford to dismiss such a possibility? In conclusion, the shadow observers proposed a theory that our shadows are not mere absences of light, but intelligent entities that influence us to generate the emotional energy they need. They documented thousands of instances of shadows appearing to move independently, and they suggested that our inexplicable mood swings and feelings of being watched might be the work of our shadows. So the next time you see your shadow, I implore you, don't just pass it off as a trick of light. Pay attention, observe, because who knows, your shadow might be observing you too.